Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Just like to take the opportunity to say if you haven't already subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you could do that, and drop us a like if you could do that also. Okay, so a couple of weeks back I picked up a Mavic Mini. See here, that is, and I absolutely been flying this thing as many times as I can, weather permitting. It's a little bit sunny out now, so I'll probably go and do a bit of a flight with something, but yesterday was really good, and then, but before then, after that, sorry, it's been bad weather for a couple of weeks. So pick this thing up. Would I recommend it? Yes, 100%. I would definitely recommend this. I'm not going to do a video on this, but that's what I might do another one. But this thing has been fantastic. In fact, I was so impressed with that, I decided to get a Mavic Pro. As you can see, if you look at the size difference, yeah, there's quite a bit difference. So I picked this thing up second hand, and this will be a good time to actually pick these up because they're really cheap at the minute. Depending on what quality you get and how much it's been abused and whether it's in good nick. But I managed to get this off a friend who's looked after it. Came with 3 batteries, and the batteries, I've checked them out. One's done 30 charges, one's brand new, done about 3, and the other one's done about 15. And I've just bought myself another brand new battery as well. Come with a case and everything I need. Didn't have no filters. I might buy some filters, I don't really know yet. I'll see how it goes, whether I need them or not. And some spare props and a guard for gimbals on the remote and things. Yeah. So what I've been using, I've flew this a couple of times, and I'm going to put some footage up shortly. But I just thought this is, like I say, I've literally had it a couple of days, and yesterday I went out for a flight over the beach, and I flew the same path as I flew with the Mavic Mini, but I could obviously go a lot further if I wanted to. Quality of the camera is just as good, and the Mavic Mini has got a really good camera, 2.7K. This is 4K at 30. But I was blown away with how much of the telemetry, how many options was in the options list. So many things. I haven't even tried out any of the quick shots, active track, all them type of things. I just went for a flight, and I went for like first flight was about 15 minutes. Then I come back and changed the battery out, and then I flew a little bit further, a bit longer. Didn't go over 400 feet. I think I went to 400 feet once, but I was flying around about 100 meters, something like that, 90, 80, round about there. Enough where I wasn't causing any. So I tend to take it up where you can't hear it, and once you can't hear it, that's my altitude usually, which is about 50 meters, 80 meters, something like that. I've 3D printed out a protective strip that goes on the bottom. You just pull that off just like that, and you can see the optical sensors. If I just get the light right, you've got 2 optical flow cameras and 2 radar ultrasonic sensors for your height, so make sure it's really accurate on the height, and it's in mint condition. Camera is the gimbal. It did have a little crack in the gimbal where the guy said he stood on it when he put it on the floor by mistake. Not a biggie, I just glued it up. But everything else looks like it's in tip-top condition. No damage anywhere on it, and it flies fantastic. I have got some of the other props, the quiet ones, supposed to be a bit quieter, but to be honest, these fly fantastic. I was going to buy some of the Master Air Screw ones to try that out, but to be fair, I don't know whether I'll bother. I will put another skin on it, because it's a bit hard to see in the sky. Probably like orange or yellow, or some of these fancy skins you get. I'll probably do that. And maybe a strobe light. You can attach a strobe to the top or the bottom. But yeah, really impressed with it. What I was impressed with was how much data you got onto the screen. What was coming back, live data, like how much power the motors were using. So when I was going out in sports mode, it was like 75% of the motor power. So I backed it off. Instead of doing like full speed stick forward, I backed it off a little bit and dropped it down to 50% power on the motors. That's a nice feature, that, because you can look after things a bit more. There's no need to fly out super fast. Also, if you're in heavy wind, you can tell how much it's struggling. Also, because the camera does a good job at stabilization, it could be doing this in the wind and you see a perfectly stable image. You've got a radar, so you can see the pitch on the radar screen in the bottom left. You can see that pitching back and forward, and you can tell that the Mavic's struggling a bit, so you might want to bring it back or drop the altitude. So things like that. I just need to fly this more, so I'm gonna go. It's Thursday today. I'm gonna go tomorrow if it's decent weather, and I'm gonna try and fly. Put this thing through its paces a bit more. Try some of the features. I think it's got a feature where, like in this video, you see I flew along a pier, a disused pier, and then at the end of it, I just turned around and come back. But there's a feature, I think it's called like point of interest or something, where I could lock onto it and just like do some rotations of that pier and try some, as it's rotating and panning round, go up and go down and things. So yeah, I'm interested to try some of the features out, but I'm pretty happy so far, especially this thing. I think it was last night, tea time, 5-6 o'clock. It was like really gusty, the winds. The winds are 25 miles per hour, 20 to 25, but the gusts were like 35 on the app. So I went in the garden and I took it up to about 3 foot, and it was giving it this, and it was like trying to like sort of steady itself, and it was struggling like mad. Although it looked like it was struggling, its 3D position lock was spot on. It was like fighting the wind and then coming back, and it was doing everything it needed, and it was giving it this. I was really impressed. Left it there for 10 minutes, and it just didn't move from its 3D space. It stayed there. It was just fighting the wind. It just looked bad, but it was doing its job. So that gave me a lot of confidence in how much power this thing's got. So yeah, the Mavic Mini would have been blown away. It literally would have crashed. It's a fantastic thing, and this still is my second favourite drone. Before I bought the Pro, this was my favourite drone, and I love this thing. It's so quiet. Lithium-ion batteries or lithium polymer. These things you have to look after the batteries and discharge them when you're not using them. This thing, if I just push that button now, if you can see that, that's been charged for over a week. Don't need to worry about it because the LiPos, lithium-ion is this, and these are lithium polymer. Keep getting them mixed up, but these things you can just leave them charged up. So this truly is grab and go. Leave it in your car boot or leave it in the glove compartment when you need it. It's got that fantastic stabilized gimbal. You just have to fly in decent weather. 10 mile an hour should be okay. I flew in 15 and it was struggling a bit, but it still was be able to go forward. But the top speed of this is about 40 miles per hour. So technically you should have to fight 40 mile an hour winds, just 35 easy. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it so far, with how much telemetry is coming back to the screen. I've been flying from a Galaxy A20 and it's working perfect, absolutely perfect. But I'm thinking about, that's a 64-bit processor. It sounds strange, but the app, you need more processing power to fly this on the app on your phone. So you need a 64-bit. 32-bit's going to struggle. Where this, you probably get away with a 32-bit. It's strange, but I'm gonna possibly get. I was thinking about an iPad, folks. Everyone was using them, but I think they're not up to the job now. I think I'll probably go for something else. I don't know, a Galaxy Tab or something. Anybody's using this setup, what tablet I use, and I wanted nothing big. I didn't want a 10-inch tablet because I've got one and it's too big. I wanted like maybe 8 or 9 or something like that, something in that range, so I can get a bit better, a bit bigger screen, but also to do the job and not like less lag. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut up this footage. Okay guys, so we're just heading up towards the pier at the moment. This is Stately Pier in Hartlepool. If anyone didn't know, there's a big section taken out, and that's because it's dangerous. It's been run down, so they've took that section out so people can't climb on because it's a little bit high, it's a bit dangerous. So we're just going to go past that and head up towards the we're going north at the minute. So you can see the golf course is just in the top where it's green, and further up the coast, Sunderland, you can probably just see that. Okay. If you look at the left hand side, That's where the factory used to be. Now what I'll do is I'll put a couple of photographs up to show you what it used to be. I'm going to do a turn shortly. I'm quite a ways away from me takeoff point here, so I don't want to be going too far. So I'll just stop somewhere up here and I'll turn around and you can see how they pull on the left in a second. You can see the railway line. Now if we just look here, there's a tunnel to my right. There's a picture I've shot up, and that's the magnesite works where the houses are. These round circles, they're the settling tanks for the magnesite. Obviously there's all houses being built on there now, and the train used to come in, load up, then go back onto the main line, which you can see the bit of a bend to the right there. And then it'll go back off to Middlesbrough, Thornaby, Middlesbrough, and wherever all over the country. You can see the bend there. So I'm just further down past the graveyard or the cemetery. That's Old Cemetery Road. You can see that like funny square. That's roughly where I'm at. So what I'm going to do is switch over to the pier. Now the pier used to feed, I've come around the other way around now, but the pier used to feed seawater into the factory for the settling tanks and everything. So you can see two tubes running along left and right, and that used to bring the seawater in, and then it would go along and down. So obviously when the water goes high and low for high tide and low tide, it would still get the water. And this magnesite used to go all over the country for building purposes. And I think the last time I can remember was about the 80s, 1980, the last time I remember it still being there. I think, I could be wrong, but that's what I seem to remember. And there was a big tower chimney that blew up. Unfortunately I didn't see it, so we're just going to turn around. Again, this is the first time I flew the Mavic Pro, so I'm a bit nervous about going this far out. If something goes wrong, I've lost the drone. Simple as that. It's a chance you take. You can see the flop where the decking used to be. It's all rotten away. All the steel girders are rotten away. So you can see how dangerous that would be. And it looks like a seal's just come up there. It just come from the bottom up to the top. And there's a big section taken away. So yeah, I've never actually been on this pier, but it's fishermen used to use it for a while, and you can see this used to feed directly into the factory itself, and it goes straight to there's a new housing development there now. Well, say new, about 10 years ago it got built. Okay guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for staying to the end. Hope you found it useful, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.